you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders want.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, world, good afternoon. Wherever you're listening from around the world in the Eastern Caribbean. This is the Mekwi Talk program here in WZPP and WZLP, the voice of the Caribbean. I'm your host, Jeffery T. My co-host, Sir Dale Holness, is his program today. He's on his way here to the studio. He's on his way today to the studio. Former Broward County Mayor, Mr. Dale Holness, is on his way here. And just a reminder that come Monday, October 2nd, we will be having the People's National Party President and Opposition Leader of Jamaica, Mr. Mark Golding, on the Mekwi Talk program. So join us this Tuesday, October 2nd, from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. America time, or 12 noon to 1 p.m. Jamaica time. Our special guest will be Opposition Leader, Mr. Mark Golding. He will be our guest on the program. He will be our special guest on the program. So we will be having our special guest on the program come next week, Monday. Opposition Leader Mark Golding will be our special guest. We're awaiting the arrival of former Broward County Mayor, Mr. Dale Holness, to come in the studio. But in the meantime, we're going to talk a little about what is going on. I see where Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley has indicated that she will be sending troops into Haiti, along with Jamaica, Antigua and Barbuda and Kenya. So let's hope and see if any other Caribbean nations will be going into to assist Haiti in what is going on down there, and hopefully we can get some peace and quiet in our sister island of Haiti and what is going on. So that's what is going on today. Barbados, Antigua and Barbuda, along with Jamaica and Kenya, will be leading armed forces into Haiti to assist to what is going on in Haiti. There were some members of the Caribbean community who was having some discussion on the sideline at the United Nations General Assembly towards Haiti, and I'm pretty much sure they're getting more Caribbean nations to assist. I get to understand that the American government, the Biden administration, has pledged $100 million to assist in the armed forces in Haiti, to assist who's going into Haiti to assist. Let us see what is going to happen. And I hope and pray that when they get into Haiti, it won't be an occupation, but it will be something that they can go in there, assist, and get out. And also build the government that the people of Haiti need. Because the people of Haiti need a government of the people, for the people. I can see in my camera here, I can see the arrival of former Broward County Mayor, Sir Dale Holness, has arrived in the studio here with us. He's going to speak about money. Yes, he's going to speak about money. Oh, there he is. The arrival of Mr. Dale Holness, future governor of Florida. Mr. Dale Holness is in. Mr. Dale Holness is in the studio at the moment. He is in the studio at the moment. He is here with us. Former Broward County Mayor, Sir Dale Holness. Mr. Holness, welcome to the program, sir.
All right, man. I'm glad to be here as we talk money. Today I'm going to have a couple of different guests on. Unfortunately, the
Mm-hmm.
one's on the highway, want to get off before he gets on the phone with us.
Yes, I have a hold.
You got a call on there?
Good afternoon. Welcome to Make We Talk.
This is Stanley Campbell.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, good afternoon, guest. It's Thursday afternoon, and we're talking money. Ecclesiastic 10:19, food maketh a feast, wine maketh merry, but money answers all things. And with us this afternoon on the phone is a friend, Mr. Stanley Campbell. And that Campbell name is a popular name that you'll find out a little bit more, some connections he has. But welcome, Mr. Stanley Campbell. I want you to tell us a little bit about your background. I know you were born in Liberty City, went to school in Miami Beach with a diverse population, went to FAMU, went to the Navy, became a fighter pilot, and a whole long history of being in technology, 14 patents in AI. So give us a little bit about you as you climb to be a big developer, owning 2 different golf courses across America. And so let's start off with, who is Stanley Campbell? What's your origin? What's your connection to the community here in South Florida in the United States and around the world?
Well, absolutely. And Mr. Mayor for Life, thank you for this invitation. First of all, I have one of those confused families out of Miami where on my mother's side, I'm Bahamian with Stirrups and Benabys and Johnsons and the like. And on my father's side, I'm Jamaican with Campbells and Whitakers and Scotts. So I like I said, I have one of those confusing families. But that being said, I raised up in Liberty City, in a nice family house that had 2 parents and even had a dog at one time. Went to all of the normal areas, church in the Methodist church over and on 54th Street, but I was actually Christian in the Episcopal Church on 54th Street. My parents, my mother was came from over town, and she wound up having us 5 boys that did a lot of things in the city. From the standpoint of myself, leaving Miami Beach and moving on to Florida A&M University, I studied physics and mathematics, and that study of the STEM programs actually got me to go all around the world many times. As a scientist, I did development on the data reduction and error analysis package for the Voyager 2 at 19 years old.
Wow.
From Florida, and then I extended that to serve as a basis.
That Voyager
for
2
every
is the spacecraft you're talking about, right?
The Voyager 2, yes, that's a spacecraft that left the solar system. If you can imagine, my entire life, it launched that aircraft launched, or spacecraft launched, in my third year in the military on work that I did when I was 19, and it's been flying all of those years since, to the point 4 years ago it left the solar system. If you can imagine, leaving the solar system is just hard to even fathom. But that being said, that work also eventually later got me on to the executive advisory board at NASA, where we control the funding for virtually all advanced science and technology. And the reason you have to be involved is because we were able, based on the position I had as chairman of the procurement committee, I wound up orchestrating the first spacecraft to be built by an African American firm, where they built a technology that the program was called Fast Flyby, and that it was designed to fly into a comet and then bring back some of the information associated with that comet. But that being said, my time in the Navy was very, very exciting. I wound up flying around the world. I've pretty much every continent from North America to South America, to Asia and the Middle East. But the thing that I think that's most telling about my life as an aviator is I used to fly to Iceland and Greenland, and they were covered with ice. And I went to Iceland on my 34th anniversary of my 35th anniversary with my wife, and I'm sorry, 30th anniversary with my wife, and it was all green. It looked like I was in Florida, and that's an amazing thing. Over 30 years, the differentiation in the climate, and obviously those of us who come from Caribbean background and from Florida background, we know how serious the impact is for the environment.
Climate change is real.
It is flat out real, and we see it every day. But that being said, I've got three young men. One is the youngest one works for the company with me. In my company, I have one of the largest networks for healthcare in the country, where I actually message. You cannot go to a pharmacy in the United States and not and I don't message bidirectionally, where my analytics decides whether you get the medication or not based on your insurance in your insurance profiles. So that is designed to stop fraud against the government, of which pharmacy fraud may be the largest individual fraud in healthcare.
So Stanley Campbell, let's talk a little bit about how you prevent the loss and fraud from the government, Medicare, Medicaid, and the military, and how many people you have in your system that is interfacing through the technology, the AI technology that you built, and how much money are you saving the taxpayers and the people of America by having this powerful AI program that you've built through your technology?
That's a great question. So we serve as protection to Medicare, Medicaid, Indian Health Services, DOD,
Department of Defense for people who don't know.
Yeah, Department of Defense and Department of Veterans Affairs.
Okay,
those are very critical. But the biggest tool is Medicare and Medicaid, because as you listen to people talk about closing Medicare or the impact on Medicare trust fund, we stop over $1 trillion of fraud penalty per year. $1 trillion of fraud penalty per year, and that's real dollars, and it's evidence based. Because those who would want to shut down Medicare they get a very easy pass if you're taking money out of Medicare that is improper. So we stop that, and we do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we do it at every point of sale pharmacy in the United States. The sad part about that is we only have about 4% market share. Wow. Meaning to stop that much with only 4% market share opens up a large variety of problems across the world and across the United States as it relates to fraud.
So this $1 trillion in prevention of fraud directly impacts the taxpayers, because they're the one who would cover the cost should there be Medicare or Medicaid fraud within the system, and we know that's something that is detrimental to ensuring. I mean, and we're not talking about small time players. We're talking about big time players who are looking to do $1 billion worth of stuff. It's not just little people walking off a street. It's entities that has capacity to take a lot out of the system. It's not some young person, doing some little crazy stuff that they shouldn't do. It is often organized and orchestrated by major corporate entities and medical facilities and hospitals that sometimes benefit from this, and the number of people, Americans, who actually interface through the system. How many people do you have in the system of the 350 million people that are here?
Yeah, the 300 and it's about 40 million Americans. I have 309,215,000 systems. So virtually every American that is in the United States, be they or not, because we don't make people scare based
You
on
break
what
up. You break up. You broke up for a
yeah,
moment.
I said we have 309 million Americans in our system, and that includes those who may not be fully documented, because there's no reason and no stop to people who would have access to health care in the United States. Everybody should be served health care.
Okay, so now you served in the military, and that kind of lends to how you were able to get to where you are. You served as in the Navy, and talk about some of the missions you flew as a pilot, because you're a pilot. You engaged between the Navy and the Air Force, and you flew some very important people also across the world, and you had special missions that you flew. Talk a little bit about that for me.
Well, for the military, I had a very illustrious career. I flew with the United States Navy, and I flew one of the nation's, if not the Navy's, highest flying priority. So there's an airplane they call a TACAMO, TACAMO, TACAMO aircraft. Today, that airplane, to command that mission, you have to be a flag officer or a general or admiral. At the time that I was flying it, at 26 years old, I was in charge and had a crew of 17 people. But from that mission, we control the world's most powerful weapons. If things went down real bad, the world would not be the same. That got me around the world a number of times. But coming out of the military, I actually started an aviation company. And in doing that, I did that in Washington, and I flew, some of the most important dignitaries to walk the earth. I flew Margaret Thatcher. I flew the Mandelas, and in fact, I flew Winnie Mandela more than I flew Mr. Mandela. I flew General Powell when he was thinking about running for election. I flew Reverend Jackson when he was running for both elections. And our now current president, when he ran the first time, I flew Biden and Senator Simon. Because I was flying both of them, the Republican National Committee said, "Hey, we want some of that, because that looks good with that guy getting out of that cool airplane." And so I flew the Republican National Committee, and I flew the Democratic National Committee for a number of years.
So you have worked with both sides of the aisle, and now you're in business. You own a couple of golf course, high profile golf course, in addition to the technology company that you have. But just before we get into the golf course and your experience with that, tell us about the patents that you hold, and what does that signify? How many, and what area they're in terms of patents?
So my patents were generated as in the area of artificial intelligence and neural computing. Those patents are designed to do intelligence analysis. So many times we look at patents as an assessment of, let's say, thought. In my case, those assessments and thought turned into technology. So in the defense and intelligence world, my job was to try to chase terrorists and find them. When we expose those technologies to law enforcement, you'll find that I used that to catch the BTK killer, a person that was on the loose for 32 years. And when we got on that case, we identified him explicitly in 68 days. So 21 government agencies looking for him. The value proposition there is the fact that when we can do features, that can now transition into other areas. So that my current work, I don't do any law enforcement or government work anymore. The current work is designed for things like using artificial intelligence to find better pathways for disease, or to identify cocktails of medications that might work together. My son actually used our technology to take a lung cancer drug, and he identified a epidural cells, skin cells that actually work on a prostate cancer.
Wow.
So now today, 7 years later, that lung cancer drug at second highest sales in the world is in prostate cancer. If you can imagine, all of the people whose lives can be, the efficacy is extension of life for 14 months. For the lung cancer, that's a great opportunity, but you're still going to have that problem, and you may not make it past that 14. But for a prostate cancer person, 14 months extension of life is tantamount to a cure, because now you can add all the other that you do to help in that cancer. So our artificial intelligence is now pointed, and that's what I'll do for the rest of my life, is use those technologies to help man and mankind in the medical space.
Okay. We're going to come back on the other side of a break to talk a little bit more about your commitment to serving humanity, what you've done with the technology, and how you see the world and what you think we need to do, especially in America, as we go forward.
Absolutely.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk.
We're not the airline, but we can take you to the islands every Sunday at Island Vibe Sunday at Blue Martini and the Galleria Mall. Enjoy happy hour from 4.
When the game gets rough and this life
Yes,
just
we're back.
seems so tough.
We're talking money this afternoon on WZTP, WZOP Radio, and we're joined by Mr. Stanley Campbell, who has lived an interesting life. Certainly, this is the Voice of the Caribbean, broadcasting on 96.1 FM in Miami, 92.7 FM in Fort Lauderdale, 1590 AM in Tampa, St. Petersburg. We are also on 102.3 FM in Hollywood, North Miami, 105.3 FM in the Vero Beach area, St. Lucie area, 99.7 FM in Orlando, Winter Garden, and Lake Mary. And we also on a YouTube channel, Mecwi Talk, Jeffery Tavares. Mr. Stanley Campbell, such an interesting life you've led. Born in Liberty City, Miami, bused to Miami Beach to school, went to Florida A&M University, served in our military, became a Navy pilot, cross-trained with the Air Force, started a technology company because he's a computer data scientist, building solutions to help the people. In fact, part of what his brother called him on a couple of years ago when we had COVID was that there was a difficulty in people in the underserved communities, Black folks, who weren't getting the vaccination, going to Jackson and couldn't get it. He built a solution, a technology solution, to ensure that there's a fairness in distribution of the vaccines, not only here in America, but around the world. And that's something that you have given to the people for free. Is that correct, Mr. Stanley Campbell?
That is correct. Many places in the world, including the Caribbean, we don't have access to electronic healthcare records. We don't have access to telehealth. We don't have access to how we manage our medication. We don't have access to alerts. So we built technology on behalf of, for COVID. The government decided not to buy it, and that's how you got paper cards. But that being the case, because we saw the world need. When you look at, in the Caribbean, you look at areas like Africa, or Asia, India, where people not just don't have access to the medication, but they have no access to technology. So we wound up developing the technology. We deployed it in North America for anybody to use for free. We deployed it in South America for all of South America and the Caribbean for anybody to use for free. It's in India. It's in Africa in 3 different African languages for anybody to use for free. And that, based on that, we know that we can do good and do well at the same time. And to those who have much given, there's certain responsibilities for us to also give back. So for me, that's been a few dollars of investment that we give away for free. There may someday be a business model associated with that, but right now, the business model is the model for your heart. And seeing what happens to people who don't have access to healthcare and don't have access to the technologies that can empower healthcare. So that's it's one of the most proudest things that we have in our entire business career.
So another part of your business is you actually is a developer, resort person in the hotel business. You bought 2 major golf courses. Tell us a little bit about that quickly, and then we're going to get into your service to the community and what you see needs to be done in the world.
Yes. So now the fun part. So for all of you, all those radio stations, I've lived in so many parts of Florida, I recognize all of them. So we have in Florida 2.5 years ago, in an auction that I could not be in the room to win, we bid and won the purchase rights for Martin Downs Country Club and Resort in Palm City, Florida. That is
in Martin
that used
County,
to be
just north of Palm Beach, correct?
yes, that is correct.
How many acres was that?
That is 220 acres, of which about 100 acres of it is golf. But and then at Martin Downs used to be the qualifying course for the Honda Classic and for the U.S. Open. And in doing that,
That's for that's the golf classic that Tiger Woods played in many times.
That many times. So the key there, and it's one of the most popular ones in the United States. So if I didn't have enough of begging for punishment, just last month we became the only people of color. I have to say, my wife and I, to purchase a second country club in a different state. So that's never happened before. And believe me, it without they say Jamaicans have to have 10 jobs. Without enough jobs, I had to go get another country club. But that being said, that course was in similar proximity to its royalty, in that it used to be the championship course for the ACC back in the 80s and 90s. And if you know
Golf
anything about golf, you know that some of the best players in the world started at in the ACC. As you can imagine, Davis Love III played there 4 times and never won, even though he was the captain of the Ryder Cup. That's how good he was.
Wow.
So with that, we and both of these courses were segregated for previously, and now are under full ownership. Excuse me, guys. I'm going through a Secret Service check.
Okay.
I'm going to let you hold for 1 second.
So while he does that, he's actually going to meet with Vice President Kamala Harris. He's about to enter the building now. So he's going through his security clearance background that you have to go through when you attend these events, especially if you're going to be up close with the Vice President of the United States, or the President for that matter. The Vice President is here in South Florida at FIU this afternoon, and later this evening she'll actually be at a fundraiser also, where it's a sizable amount of money to get into that room. Get into FIU, they cost anybody except you needed to register in advance. But Jeffrey, I gave that up to be here with you, with the people on radio, and talking to my friend Mr. Stanley Campbell, who again has had an illustrious career. I have on the line also, waiting to join, is Miss Paula Barrera Isaac. And we're going to talk about Florida's International Trade and Cultural Expo, FITCEexpo.com. If you're thinking of doing international business, international trade, it's the event to be at. Paula, go ahead and tell us what's going on with FITCE quickly. FITCEexpo.com, FITCEexpo.com. Tell us about who's coming quickly, and how people get to this event October 4th and 5th.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me again. And Florida International Trade and Culture Expo is back again, created by yours truly, former Mayor Dale Holness, and we're excited to have an amazing year this year. It's our 8th year. We're going to have 74 countries. We just started with 16 8 years ago, so this is amazing. 2,000 people. Imagine they're coming right here in our backyard. You don't have to fly to this country. We have the Vice President of El Salvador, former President of Ecuador, former President of Mauritius, ministers, mayors, business leaders. This is the place to do business, and it's a free event. And we still have general admission open until Friday, so don't miss that opportunity. FITCEexpo.com, FITC, the word expo.com, FITC, the word expo.com.
I know we'll have a Jamaican delegation with Jampro being here. Council General Mayor will be at the event. I think we're getting Minister of Commerce and Industries, Aubin Hill, should be in attendance also from Jamaica, and many from the Caribbean, ministers from Belize, from the Bahamas, from Barbados, all over the world.
St.
Folks are coming
Lucia,
here.
yeah,
St.
all
Lucia
over.
are coming here to do business. And the place to go again, if you haven't registered yet, formal registration will close tomorrow. So you've got to go to FITCEXPO.com. And Paula, go ahead and give the website again and any contact information where they can reach out to enjoy how to do business with the world, how to export, how to import, and how to find opportunities to sell to major companies like Walmart and others. It's a tremendous opportunity. Plus, we add in the cultural piece for you to enjoy some great fun, a fashion show, and a wonderful event will be had this Thursday, next Wednesday and Thursday, the 4th and 5th of October.
October 4th and 5th next week at the Convention Center. And please make sure to register at FITCExpo.com. F like Florida, I like international, T like trade, C like culture, the word expo.com. And we look forward to having y'all there. There's going to be a lot of buyers. Like he mentioned Walmart. We're going to bring all the buyers there. So you better be there.
Okay. All right, Paula, we're going to go back to my friend, Mr. Stanley Campbell, who is so about to enter the room with Vice President Kamala Harris in a few minutes. My friend Stanley, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I had to do a little bit of that because we're about business and making money, so we got to bring the money in. I know we're talking big money with you with these great golf courses that you have invested in, and you're looking to redevelop resorts on a lot of that, build hotels and so much more. But our time's running, and I wanted to get into your call to service. You served in the military. Now you're looking to see what you can do to help humanity. Tell us some of the issues that face the people of Florida and the United States that you would like to see us work on.
Well, obviously, the issues of Florida, we mentioned climate change.
You're breaking up, Stanley. You got to find a better spot in that place. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you get too close to a window or something.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, I'm getting you a little better. Hello? So he's looking to serve some more. Part of what the conversation I had with him earlier was about how we have fairness, justice, how we saved the democracy, that he put himself on the line as a military person to help protect us, to ensure that we maintain the rights that we have as a people in this great nation. And you can hear people around him at this event. And I know he's looking to possibly seek public office. I wanted that to come from him himself, but can you hear me, Stanley Campbell?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
You're right.
You're going in and out. There's a lot. Yes, go ahead again. There's a lot of background noise for you where you are.
I'm gonna go back outside and and see they cleared me already.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I can hear you better now. Wherever you are, you're in a good spot.
Oh, perfect.
Yes. Go ahead.
So yes. So we look at Florida, as a cost, as goes Florida, so goes the nation. From environmental, we talked about it a little bit earlier, to education, having been back in Florida for 3 years from military and raising a family in Washington, D.C., I absolutely can't understand what has happened to our education system, where for the first time in some of our colleges, we have a reduction in the number of applicants. As a college graduate here, I went to both Florida A&M and Florida State. I went back to my neighborhood, in Liberty City, and I don't see a clear path if I was a 10-year-old right now going, trying to get to college, because we basically almost decimated the education system. If you can't read Shakespeare, one of my poems that my father told me some years ago, the height of great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, and they, while their companions slept, went toiling well into the night. Well, guess what?
That came from my Uncle Tom also.
if it's a black author, you can't read it. It may not be available for you to read it. And so what winds up happening is education is one of those big things. When we look at Florida has Central Command, a combat command that controls a full part of the world. We have Southern Command, or Southcom is what they call, which controls the military in South America. We have Special Forces Command. That's Special Forces all over the world. And with 3 combat commands and multiple Navy and Air Force bases, from the naval bases in Jacksonville to the Air Force bases and in Tyndall. What winds up happening is we can't right now, with the current leadership, trust that these families who've been in the military for 20 and 30 years to get promotion. How can you hold up a promotion when they've done everything we've asked of them? And then those young soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines who are looking to the civilian leadership and can't trust that their entire career might be held up by one person. And that happens to be a senator from a neighboring state. So there's just so much that, from healthcare to military and defense to climate and environment to education, we just have to change that trajectory in Florida, because as I said before, as goes Florida, so goes the nation.
You also mentioned when we talked earlier about justice and opportunities for economic growth and inclusion, and saving the democracy that we have, that you enlisted to serve our country to protect.
Well, there are many of us, I'm sure many on this call, who have taken the sworn oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies. Well, we've seen that Constitution has been under threat. And so, as a business person, it's very easy to say that's somebody else's problem. I have a nice and luxurious life, and I'll let the next generation take care of that. The problem is the next generation is being robbed of the ability to step up and to take those reins. And in Florida, we have a short bench. We need a bench of very young, very exciting, very smart individuals to step into these positions, but we have to give them a pathway. And so, as it relates to how do we get to that pathway, we have to show the example, particularly with Black men. We have to show the example. We have to show that the art of the possible is to dream, and that you're in the best country, the greatest country in the history of the world, to be able to achieve those dreams. That's what we've got to get back. We've got to excite the dreamers and give them access to doing what they dream to do.
And so with that, you are embarking on a pathway to become a senator for the United States of America for Florida?
Well, this this is the worst kept secret in Florida. I am absolutely positively registered for the to be the proud representative of the people of Florida. I expect that I will have a very long and tough fight. I'll need all the help from this community. This community knows how to step up, so I'm not worried about that. And when we do step up, when our voices are heard, we won't have to wait. Like I'll go to the other one side of the family. We won't have to wait, 2 administrations or 3 administrations before we get an ambassador to the Bahamas. I just don't know how something like that could be missed. But those are just some of the things that when the time comes, when the sun is set, I'm very hopeful that I'll be able to change some of these things. We have too many people who live in the shadows without a pathway to citizenship. We have too many people who are underpaid and overworked because they can't make affordable living wages. And we have too many people who are underinsured and can't get legitimate health care. It just makes no sense that the richest country in the world can leave so many of those least of these to fend for themselves.
And with that, as a warrior who have served in the military in so many capacities, you're going to put your experience as a soldier on the line to help change the trajectory of these things by being a candidate for the U.S. Senate from Florida. And the current occupant now, I believe, is Senator Scott, who I think had some Medicare, Medicaid issues in terms of taking some money from that. I think somehow, I don't know, there was some pathway that his company was able to get out of that. He's now a U.S. Senator. He served as governor, but someone who has not really been endearing to a community for sure. We know that, however, that accusation and all of that went down. There's still an issue there that you've actually stepped up to fix with your solutions. The fact that you served in the military, I think, is a benefit. So I'm sure we're going to be hearing a lot more from you in the future, Mr. Stanley Campbell.
And I'll make absolutely sure that I'm in an office where it's nice and quiet.
Yes. Go ahead, finish up, Stanley.
Yeah. Now I would say I'll be sure that I'll be in a nice, quiet office where I don't have so much of the background noise.
Okay.
That I can give the people on this call.
See you next time.
In this station.
Until
Thank you.
Time. All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
I get to take care.
Conversation is the key.
At Blue Martin.